Hey guys, welcome back to another one. For today's video, we're looking at this awesome piece of tech, the Comma 4. And it's a really cool device. I've been loving the heck out of mine. What it is basically turns your car into the closest thing to Tesla as you're going to get for self-driving. Now, when I first purchased this, there were very little review videos or otherwise about the Mazda, specifically the CX-5. This is a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Carbon Edition. Absolutely love this vehicle. And so when I bought this, there was very little about what kind of turn radius it could get and so on. There were a few shorts online. Anyway, I hooked this up, wired it through here. As you can see, it's mounted to the windshield, and then this wire comes around, and then it has to go through, and I use this A-pillar here, and it has to plug into the OBD port for power down there, and then powers from the harness in behind this deal here into the camera. So installed it myself. Overall, it was a little bit trickier in the Mazda, strictly because the Mazda, you have to have the OBD power port, but overall, very easy to install. Now, as far as functionality goes, I put on what's known as OpenPilot. I got rid of the OpenPilot, whatever. And it's very easy to change the piloting software on this device. And OpenPilot is freaking amazing with this car. The steps above this versus, conventional radar, cruise control and stuff, or whatever Honda sensing that these other brands have, is you can't even compare the two. So without further ado, we're going to give this a drive, and I'm going to show you how it works. So the turn radius is largely dependent, as you guys can guess, on the speed, and on the Mazda, it's engaged with the steering wheel. Now, even down this street here, going at low speeds, you can see I am not touching the steering wheel at all, and it will probably do a pretty darn good job of getting around this stuff on the right. It does not need lines to function. It did, and here we go. Now, I'm touching the wheel a little bit because there's nails in that board potentially there, what that guy has. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the street, and I'm going to be taking a left. Now, obviously, for regular turns, this is not a Tesla, folks, but it also doesn't have a $200 a month subscription either. So, really love this thing because you buy the device once and you're done. So here we are, no lines on the road. Again, I'm kind of repositioning myself. And that's what it looks like from a more up-close standpoint. So you guys might have just heard that beep. It's warning me there's somebody in the left lane, so that will not change. Okay, guys, here's a pretty sharp turn up in front of us here. So here you go. Now, it will show you on the screen its turn limits, like how much of a turn that it can take. That'll make more sense here when I show you up close. So like it's going to be taking this right-hand turn. I think this is about the limit, as you can see here. And you see that white down there? So there you go. That's the limit. And again, this is based on speed. It's based on multiple factors. So we're almost hitting the limit there. And that's telling me to pay attention, which I'm going to be doing. As I hold the camera up there, it blocked me out. But anyway, it was even able to handle that turn. And you'd be amazed at some of the turns it can handle at low speeds. I'm going to do some drive time here so you guys can really get a feel for this as I drive and as this thing turns for me. So nice, so nice. I would have to say, guys, I could never go back to probably conventional driving again with this. I use it all the time. I love it too much. And we're getting some rain, so this is kind of a cool test too. You guys will see that it operates in the rain just fine. Not that you would think it wouldn't. Let's turn my cruise back on, and it is sensing the car in front of us. So now you guys can get a feel if these people in front of me start braking, how is that going to work? So I don't have my foot on the brake, I don't have my hands on the steering wheel, I'm doing absolutely nothing, and I just got a beep for driver distracted. Probably because I'm holding this microphone. Okay, so the cars in front of me are slowing down, and it's now slowing down too, pretty reasonably. Again, using some of the native systems of the Mazda, but doing very well. Brake or anything, letting the car completely drive itself, and pretty good, pretty good. Yep, it did a pretty good job. Nice stop there, and we are stopped. Now, you'll get this steering assist temporarily unavailable on the Mazda, and of course the reason for that is because we are stopped, and it will only operate in the Mazda if you're going over, like, I don't know, I forget the amount, 5 miles an hour or something, 2 miles an hour or something like that. So I just hit the little button, resume, and here we are taking off again, keeping distance from the car. Again, I'm not touching anything. The system is now re-engaged, but the comma is completely driving itself. But don't worry, guys, we're going to be going to do some faster speeds here on the actual, 60 miles an hour beyond what you would expect, because, hey, it's nice to use this on certain in-town spots, right? But we all want this for the interstate, for those long road trips. Something, by the way, I noticed, guys, a lot of people say, well, doesn't this cause you to be distracted? Isn't this unsafe? Actually, guys, when your brain doesn't have to put those little, like at night and you're on the highway, those little, like, because your brain, it uses brain power, right, to put little micro adjustments on your steering wheel, which means that you're taking brain power and keeping yourself centered in the lane. I actually, at night and stuff, notice that I can look around and focus more on deer and other stuff, other variables that I actually might not catch, and I can actually pay more attention to because this thing is keeping me centered for me. So if anything, actually, in a lot of ways, I actually think it's safer. So kind of fun. It actually got me changed lanes for me there, and we're going to go more into that when we're actually on the highway here. So I just hit resume on the old cruise, and it's doing well. So you can see this is a relatively radical right turn, and now it's saying take control, and it just will make this turn. Just barely, but it will make that. We were accelerating there, so that's about the turn rate limit, if you want to put it that way. That was about the limit, guys. But that's accelerating up a hill, so it's a little bit biased. So here's some more radical turns up here, because I know you guys are all curious about that. What can it handle? Again, we're going 65 miles an hour. Okay, so can it handle this left turn here? We'll find out. Honestly, it's handling most stuff like a champ. You can even see that yellow post sign. Okay, here's another left-hand turn. Now you can see the yellow on the, or the white, excuse me, showing you the limit, and that's really getting close to that limit there. But it's still doing okay. Haven't touched the wheel yet. All right, re-straightening back out. Okay, now it's doing a right turn. I think the system struggles. It's about the right turn limit. I just add a little bit of wheel there. I think that it struggles with right-hand turns more than left. Maybe one of you guys can confirm that. That is, it does a good job of both, but it handles left-hand turns better than right-hand turns. It can handle more radical left turns than right, if I can put it that way. Okay, here we go. We're going to, this is a very radical, as you guys can see up here, with a big warning left-hand turn sign. I'm going to lower it down to 60 just to see what it can do. So this is a left-hand turn. Let's see what it can do. Okay, you can see these yellow arrows, like a big warning. Okay, so it can almost handle this turn, guys. Like, I'm barely tapping the steering wheel, just giving it a little bit of extra to make it work. and there we go. That's all it took. And that is a radically bad turn behind us. In fact, if you look in the rearview mirror there, I hate that turn. It's like almost, I don't want to say a 90-degree turn, but it's getting there. So that's pretty good. This is going to handle 90% of your road trip driving, guys. And here we are. I could just take a nap. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Part of what you can get away with is going to be dependent on a lot of different factors. It also depends on how the road is slanted and a bunch of things like that. I'm going to slow down to 50. Yeah. There you go, guys. It's even able to handle this. And this is a pretty radical turn. And again, guys, this is with OpenPilot. I don't know how other piloting programs do, including the OpenPilot one, because I knew right away that it was not as good for Mazda. So if you do get this, it's so easy. I would probably take the time out and put OpenPilot on. I think that's well worth your time. I'm taking a ride up this hill. Now we're going 25 miles an hour. Take a look at this, guys. So this is without me touching the wheel at all. Doing a pretty dang good job. I got the cruise on. I'm not touching anything. It's telling me to pay attention because it thinks I'm looking at my phone, which I'm not. And that's just because I'm holding these cameras, guys. So here's an extremely radical turn here. I'm probably going to have to help it a little bit, but even here, not much. So I'm going 25 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. It senses the road, this radical turn here. And look at this, guys. Look at this. I'm not touching the steering wheel. And I can't believe it. It actually completed that turn without me doing anything. If there was a car coming the other way, I might have felt a little uncomfortable about that, but there you go. So a lot of the turn radius, guys, is heavily speed dependent. But there you go. Okay, guys, here we are going down a street with no lines, just to give you a thing, and just in a neighborhood here going like 10, 15 miles an hour, watching out for kids. And look at this. Even this truck here on the right, watch. See? It goes right around it. It sees that it's there because it's using AI. It's not using lines. And I got to say, guys, Kama's system, I'm impressed. Look at this. Full turns, basically. Full turns in neighborhoods, guys, with the steering wheel is at like a 90-degree angle. So there you have it, guys. That's the Kama AI system. I'm very impressed. I absolutely cannot live without it. Absolutely love it. All you got to do on the Mazda is hit the on and off button, and then you set your cruise as normal. I, at this point, guys, don't know how I'd even get by without it. I absolutely love the system. So, would I recommend buying the Kama AI? Hell yeah. For $1,000 now, and that includes the harness, I think it's well worth it if you're driving at all. Some of you may not care, but if you're into self-driving and you don't want to have to pay Tesla $200 a month or whatever the subscription is, get a Kama AI, put OpenPilot on it if you have a Mazda. If you have a different vehicle, see what its limitations are. But the limitations are pretty high on this, and yeah, you can't get as good a turns on higher speeds, but for long road trips, 60, even 70, up to 70, 75 miles an hour, it'll be great. It'll be just great. It will relieve me of 80, 90% of the driving fatigue. So I really look forward to using it. Look forward to hearing what you guys think in the comment section. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.